Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, the Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the WZ-111-5A, a Tier 10 Chinese Collector Heavy Tank, a vehicle that is almost perfect. If we were to take a look at its statistics, it's got a lot of fantastic things going for it. 2,800 DPM, great. 0.326 dispersion for a 130mm is absolutely insane. It's got pretty good standard pen at 260, and if you're running Cali, it's even higher. Its average damage is great on the HE, the AP. It's got enough gun depression at 7 to work most ridge lines. It's got fantastic turret armor. It's also got great mobility, going 45 at a top speed. So what is the thing that takes away from it being perfect? Well, it's one value I've talked about in the past, and that is the premium penetration. This vehicle currently sits at 303mm of base pen. You can get it up to 330 if you're running calibrated shells. However, it should be higher. Now, there are people that always accuse me of being paid by Wargaming to say that the collectors should get more buffs. However, that's just not true. I think the reason the 5A should get a penetration buff is for two reasons. First of all, it literally cannot penetrate heavy tanks like the E100 when it's hiding its lower plate, the Jagdpanzer E100, the Type 71, or even the majority of an IS-4's upper plate. But even sadder is that the Tier 9 WZ-111-14, which is the exact same hull, just with a slightly different amount of gun depression, has a better gun when it comes to penetration at 352mm, 20 more than the Tier 10. That doesn't make sense at all to me. This tank should have the same heat pen that the 5A has, or it should be the other way around. I don't know. I personally think that it doesn't make sense that the Tier 9, especially that Tier 9, actually grinds to the 5A on the tech tree on World of Tanks PC, so it only makes sense for me that this tank should have plenty of pen to deal with Tier 10s. I don't think it should have a ridiculous amount of pen, but even 350mm would be enough to get through the majority of opponents you deal with. It is a bit annoying to go up against super heavily armored tanks and not be able to pen them. I mean, an Object 268 version 4, good luck with that. You're going to have to wait for it to over-angle. Essentially, this tank has the same penetration as a medium. It's not bad, don't get me wrong. This tank is still amazing, but it has that one snag, which is why it is almost perfect. Here we are in our first battle. Not a great map, I'll definitely tell you that. Desert Sands is really good for tanks like the 114 or the Moishin next to me. Not the 5A, because obviously the 5A's armor is more reliant on hull down positioning, which is why I'm actually going to send my Tier 10 Heavy over towards base A, which honestly will work out well because we also have an E6, which also does not do very well on flat ground. It is a little annoying that the map like Desert Sands doesn't have any hull down positions on the town side, but I guess that's how Wargaming wanted the map to be. So we can see there's a Type 71 off to the side, and this type, well, I'm not really sure what his plan is as of right now. We can see him playing quite aggressive, there he is, and we also got the 92E1 in front of me. Okay, well, as you'll notice, I cannot pen this type apart from the lower plate, but even aiming in on his lower plate is a very, very hard penetration. This is the major downside of the 5A, is the fact that, as I said, it just struggles to pen heavily armored vehicles. Now, the good thing about this tank is that even though you struggle to pen them, you still do have a pretty nice gun, and I can overmatch the side armor of the Type 71 quite easily. And the fact that I out-DPM that tank by quite a bit is definitely a nice little aspect. So we're going to go for its lower plate. There you go. Nice shot again. We're going to go for a bit of a face hug here. Hopefully the 114 is going to get to his side, and the TVP will as well. Beautiful. I don't really know what that type's plan was. I mean, yeah, it's a tank that gets away with a lot of things, but, well, that was definitely not one of them. We get a nice 583 slap into that poor Centurion there. Sorry, I had a bit of a brain fart and forgot to say its name. But, alright, well, not much else really to do here. We've already come out with a victory, I can tell you that for a fact. It is a 6-4, and all of the enemy team is stuck in one spot. We can see my grill and Object 268 are ready, and really the only player that died was the Moishin, but even though the Moishin died, I'll give him credit, he did his job. He distracted, he held the enemy for a long enough time, and because of that, this is going to be quite an easy victory. Now, I would love to be able to get a shell into that T92E1. I don't think we're going to be able to, but Ooh, it's actually going to be close. Well, let's just finish off. Yeah, we'll kill the T92. Even though the U100 has more HP, and as many of you know, I love farming my damage, it doesn't really matter too much. All right, well, there's the E4. One easy bonker into his track wheel. Let's back up. Oof, that guy went right through my armor. One thing to note about the 5A is that its armor is not very good on flat ground, which we talked about earlier. So, yeah, you're not going to bounce really anything unless you are using it hull down. But let's get a nice shot into the 60 TP's rear. With that, we're up to 3,800 damage and a very easy victory. That is what the 5A is capable of doing. It's got the mobility, it's got the DPM, but as you noticed, as a perfect example, fighting that Type 71 was a chore. And even though I may have made it look a little easy hitting him in the hatch and hitting him in some of the weak spots, it was still a bit tricky to definitely come out with that, with those penetrations on the Type 71. But not a bad battle at all. As I said, 3,860 damage and a pretty good victory to start this video off on. Let's see if we can end it off with the second gameplay just as well. But I guess there's only one way to find out. Alrighty then, battle number 2. And not a bad map. We are up against maybe that same E6. I would guess it is. What do we have? Minotauro, IS-7, 4005, Conch. I'm not sure which way our team's going to go. I'm praying that the IS-7 goes up. But what I can also say is that is just a Carnarvon. A stock Conqueror is literally just a Carnarvon. So, a bit of bad news there. And our IS-7 goes down. And our whole team goes down. Yay! I'm mad. Alright, well, as I talked about earlier, the 5A is mainly good at hull down, and unfortunately, when your team goes down Middleburg in a tank like this, that's very, very bad for me. The only spots I can work hull down is specifically right here, as this is the only spots, as you can see, I can hide my weak hull. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait right here. We got the mouse off to the side, and a nice slap-a-bap-a-rooney. We're going to back up before that Yag has the opportunity to shoot me. Looks like he's turning to the side, which means we can get a free shot into the Yag. Bonk. There you go. Thank you. We also got the WZ off to the side. What do I want to do here? Well, hopefully that Yag turns, and we can get a shell in. Come on. Come on. Maybe we can bait a shell. I mean, there's not really much to do here. Rip. Alright, I'm just going to back up. I'm going to hope that my IS-7 beats that mouse, which it looks like he's doing. That just looks like a free farm of damage there. It's a bit unfortunate, because... Oh, just do it. Do it, Conch. Come on. You know you want to. Bonk. Oh, really? 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 0.326 dispersion, and that's what I get. Okay. Yeah, come on, just shoot at me. Yes, he did it. He fell for the big, stanky misplay. Alright, nice. So, we got one pen into the Yag. You know what? It's better than nothing. I'll take it. Let's see if we can get one more. Maybe the 5A needs a dispersion buff, guys. I don't know what to say. This game is just saying big fat no's to me. Alright, hopefully we will not have any more mishaps from me gun. Let's see if we can bait another shell here. You know what? We don't even need the beta shell. We'll just get a free shot into this WZ. And in 5 more seconds, we'll have another shell. Let's just see if we can bait a shot. Yes! Oh, yeah. Everybody's falling for my baits today. I will take anything I can get. And that right there was free. Okay, well, let's see if we can get some shots into the E75. You can see there is an example of our pen not being bad, but definitely not being amazing either on our standard because I am running a rammer. So let's see if we can get one more pen here. I do actually have to thank my 4005. He wedged the E75 up in an angle that allowed me to pen his lower plate. So all that's left is the T95E6, and with that... this should be a pretty easy win. Now, I'm hoping that somebody on our team captures base B, but I'm just going to head towards base C. I mean, I think this should be a fairly easy thing to do. I really want to get damage out, but I also don't want to lose on base capture because that would really suck. So, as I said, I'm just going to head to the base. If our team captures it with me, that would be absolutely fantastic. You know, we could actually lose this on base cap. I might have been better off going for... Yeah, actually, I think we're going to lose this. If my guy's going to go for base C, then I'm going to try and send it in. Hopefully that STB's going to die. Come on. Kill the STB. You guys can do it. Come on, come on, come on. I don't want to lose this on base cap. I will take the blame. If we do lose this, I will definitely take the blame. Actually, we are. Yeah. Well, wouldn't have mattered too much there. Nah, I'm not going to be able to get it. That's such a rip. No! Alright, I will take the blame for that loss. I will... Sometimes I make mistakes. I didn't realize that our 2 tier 9s were going to die. Well, not the 2, but just the, just that standard B. It's a bit unfortunate. If I had just captured that base and my 4005 had captured the other base, we wouldn't have had any problem, most likely, with base capture. So I will take the blame for that. Sometimes I do make mistakes, and that was definitely one of them there. But even with that defeat, we still did pretty good. And this is what I always like to say about the 5A. It's a great tank. Its gun is absolutely fantastic. We were able to get out a nice chunky, 600-something damage into that E6 before we did end up losing. It was really unfortunate, too, because if that standard B just hadn't have died and I'd been able to get there literally half a second earlier, I probably could have won us that battle just by killing the STB and resetting that base cap. So it is really, really unfortunate I just wasn't able to get there. I thought I was going to be able to, but as I said, I will take the blame on losing that. I should have been smart enough to go into that base capture and not try and get a little bit of extra damage there, especially because I didn't really get that much more damage out. But either way, I digress. The 5A is fantastic. I mean, you saw what I was able to do there. Even though the gun definitely trolled me a bit on the YAG twice, we were still able to badonk the E6 for 1,000. We were able to get the E75 for 1,000, the 111 for 1,400, the YAG for 900. I mean, the tank is great. It just gets away with so many nasty things because of that gun, because of the DPM, because of the alpha and the accuracy. I have always loved the 5A. It's always been one of my favorite tier 10s, and it still is. As you can see, I have over 1,000 battles in this tank at 1,200 right now, and I'm on track to making this my most played vehicle in tier 10. My Caro is definitely getting up there. My Caro's got a pretty decent chunk of games as well. I don't know exactly how many games the Caro has, but it's probably like 300-400, which is quite a bit for me. So I'm definitely, yeah, there it is, the Caro, 386. I'll probably play in the Caro a bit more, but I've been taking this game a lot less seriously. I still do around the same averages, 70-ish% with 3,500 average damage, but taking the game a lot less seriously has made me enjoy the game a lot more, because when I get a defeat like that, oh no, it's not the end of the world. I was tuning with a friend today, and he gets a little mad when we lose. I just don't care anymore. And that's what I've realized is the true enjoyment in Blitz is not caring when you lose. And yeah, that's really about it. If you don't care about when you lose, but you enjoy the victories, then everything comes as one whole piece. Now, that's not to say I still get a bit flustered when I see a bad team here or there, but it doesn't change the fact. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.